Yoga. Yoga. What up? It's the Concrete Yogi here in sunny South Florida. It's a little cloudy today in South Florida, but we're still blessed. We're still breathing. The sun's out. It's not out so much today, but it's out, so we're blessed, right? It's a great day. Today, I'm going to talk to you a little bit more why I haven't gotten on my yoga mat yet, why I haven't referenced that as yoga at all yet, the posturing, why we haven't gone near that, and today I actually have an idea for a episode name or a title for the show. So welcome to episode 5 of the Not Your Average Yogi with the Concrete Yogi. That's what I am. I'm not your average yogi. That's why I haven't gotten down on my mat yet. That's why I'm not here telling you that splits are yoga or handstands are yoga, because it isn't. Without the proper mindset, without completing the other aspects of the practice, the posturing just is. And I touched on that yesterday, that the posturing just is what you see in the moment unless the other aspects of the practice are going on. What are the other aspects of the practice? Now, that answer is very, very long, and I don't have that much storage on my phone. So instead, I'm going to tell you that just know that there's 8 different aspects of the practice as prescribed by Patanjali in the Yoga Sutras. Now, these 8 things, they're very convoluted. They each and every single one have their own long definitions. Remember that we're dealing with Sanskrit here. It's not an easy, simple translation, Sanskrit to English. So every single word, every single one of the limbs has a lot of depth behind it, a lot of meaning behind it. So knowing that, you can almost imagine why I am so adamant about understanding the other 7 limbs before we even touch on the 8th limb, or one of the limbs, the asana, the posturing. It's actually the 3rd limb, so it's one that you're going to get to soon. But if you know that the first two limbs contain 5 things each, those 10 things must or should be done, should at least be known about before you approach the posturing as the practice. So that's always important to remember. I'm the Concrete Yogi. We're always talking about the foundations of the practice, the foundational aspects of life and being happy and finding your duty, finding your dharma, so that you don't feel like you're living out of place. Well, I can use that analogy when it comes to the 8 limbs. I gave one yesterday, and this is a little bit of a part 2. Another analogy could be a building of a building, all right? So many different pieces and parts go into a building. There's so many different materials that go into the building. But if I was to just say, build me a shed, okay? Build me a shed. First, you need a foundation for the shed. Otherwise, a small wind blowing by, and you probably hear it's windy here in South Florida, so any weekend that shed could be gone unless it has a proper foundation. Then it's the way that you can join the foundation to the first floor, to the first pieces of wood that would be building up above the ground, right? So you have all these different things. You're going to need the stone, you're going to need the water, you're going to need the concrete, you're going to need the iron that goes in the foundation, you're going to need the wood. But if I was to just give you nails, and tell you to build me a house, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. No matter what way you array the nails, no matter how many times you try to put one nail into another, it's not going to happen. There is no building. So if you take the yoga asana, the posturing, and you do it repeatedly in every single way you can, but there's no wood, there's no concrete, there's no other aspects of the practice, there's no yama, niyama, pranayama, dharana, dhyana, samadhi, if there's none of that, pratyahara, then there is no yoga. Then you're just trying to put 2 nails together. It's not going to work. They don't connect. They don't conjoin. So you need to have the yamas, the niyamas. You've got to have the breath work. You've got to have the sensory withdrawal. You've got to have that unbroken concentration. You've got to have those deep stints of meditation to seek that yoga. And the 8th limb is actually a synonym for yoga. It's samadhi. They mean the same thing. Yoga isn't the posturing. It isn't just the practice. Yoga is also the goal. Yoga is also the goal. Remember that. And that's why I took so much time describing what the word yoga means. Because if we just approach it and we're trying to reach into a splits, we're trying to reach into a headstand and a handstand, then not only is it not yoga. Ready? Here's the mind-blowing moment. Not only is it not practicing yoga, but if you just seek perfection in the posturing, if you just try to make it as fluid and dancey as you can without understanding why the things are conjoining the way they are, not only is it not yoga. Now, I say these things, I might hurt some egos, and I am sorry, not sorry, but really, I say these things because I think it's something everyone needs to know. If you're just attempting to do the splits, the handstands, the headstands, you are going away from the practice. You are going in the complete and total opposite direction of the practice. You are bolstering the ego. You are building the ego up instead of suppressing it, calming it, quieting it, so that you can find peace. Because really it's the ego that's constantly doing that shatter. The self-judgment, the judgment of others, the self-doubt, the doubt of others, the fear of the moment, the fear of taking a chance. All these things are put on you by the ego. So if you are reaching for something that is out of your reach in the moment, not only do you risk injury, because yes, the posturing can injure you if you do it incorrectly. It can bring incredible physical benefits when done properly, when sequenced properly, when linked together properly, when breathed through properly, all these different things, when held properly, all these different things. I cannot wait to share with you the benefits of the posturing. It's just amazing. It is amazing. But before we even touch that, we're gonna know why we're doing those things. Because we don't want the ego to be bolstered. We don't want the ego to be louder. We want to quiet. We want to find peace. We want to find calm. Okay? That is again why I haven't touched on the eighth limb, one of the 8 limbs, the asana. Let's find out what the other 7 might even be. Let's at least reference them before I get down on the mat. I mentioned them, I named them today, but let's understand them. Because just hearing the words might not bring the brevity, the depth of the word that the Sanskrit truly carries. Alright? I am the Concrete Yogi, coming to you from cloudy South Florida, and I want to thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for following me on Instagram at The Concrete Yogi, on Facebook at The Concrete Yogi, and remember, every day, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, you can find me there for more concrete contemplations, for more talks about the philosophy, the history of the practice, the psychology behind the practice, and who knows, one day, we might even break out a yoga mat and do some postures. Who knows? But you'll have to stick with me, you'll have to stay tuned, and you'll have to stay positive to find out. Thank you for joining me. Peace, blessings. You are loved. Have a great one, everybody. Peace.